Good morning, pre-algebra. So here's our joke for today. Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Well, just because it's so pointless. Come on, pointless. Got it. Did you get it? Good. All right, I am at page 410 in your textbook. Make sure you turn there, watch what I do, how it relates to the book, and we're just increasing with what we've already learned. So far you have figured out if something is a function. You've seen an equation that looks similar to this, and you either check yes, it's a function, or no, it's not a function, of course with different things. Then for the past 2 days we have been looking at figuring out how to build equations with a group of numbers. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be given an equation and we're going to be finding ordered pairs. Ordered pairs, those are the things that you put on a graph. So our first step is figuring out how do we find our ordered pairs, so our x's and our y's, and then the second step will be actually graphing it. Alright? But the first step is finding our x's and our y's. So the first equation that they give us, or function, is y equals 7x. What they want us to do is they want us to find some numbers that would fit in for both x and y. We want to see what are the x's and y's, what are possible equations where you have answers that equal each other on both sides. So what we do is we pretty much just guess. Kind of. First thing we do is we plug in some numbers for x. We just grab numbers out of the air. Typically you want to stick close around 1 and 0 to start off with, and then you can go build in different directions. So here I suggest starting with -1 or 0 or 1. Whatever number can get you a whole number on the positive side, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for example, we're just going to start with -1 on this side. So we plug it into our chart, and when we plug in -1 into our equation, our y will be -7. So if x equals -1, then y must equal -7. So we write that as our ordered pair as -1, comma, -7. Our x and our y. Okay, we go through. If we have 0, then this will be 0. So 0, 0. Next one is 1. We plug in 1 for x, and we get 7. So we have 1, comma 7. Oop, almost forgot that. And then lastly 2. Plug in 2, we get 14. So here we have 2, comma 14. Alright, and that's it. That's all we got to do. We're done there. We found our ordered pairs, other than would be writing them out again. So our ordered pairs, numbers that work and make this equation alright. That's a -7. Pretty pitiful. We have 0, 0. Kind of looks like a face. What do you think? 1, 7, and 2, 14. Okay? So again, what we did is we started out with our equation, and we plugged in a number, any number we can choose. We started out with -1, and we put it into our equation, and we got -7. So that's what you're guessing. Yeah, let's do another example. So here, this is also in your book. I'm looking at, I think it's 1C, yep, at the very bottom left corner. Our equation is y equals -2x plus 5. So I'm just going to pick some numbers. I haven't done this. I'm just trying it out. So I'm going to start with -1. We're just going to try this out. So if I plug in -1 into this equation, I get y equals -2 times -1 plus 5. -2 times -1 is +2. So I have 2 plus 5, which gets me 7. So I have -1, comma 7. I'm going to try 0. So I have y equals -2 times 0 plus 5. -2 times 0 is 0, so then we're just left with 5. 0, comma 5. Okay, now I'm going to try 1. Y equals -2 times 1 plus 5. -2 plus 5 is positive 3. So I have 1 comma 3. And we will go with 2. Just, again, pretty easy here. Y equals negative 2 times 2 plus 5. So I have negative 4 plus 5, which leaves me with just positive 1. So I have 2 comma 1. So my ordered pairs would be negative 1 comma 7, 0 comma 5, 1 comma 3, and 2 comma 1. Alright, so that's what you're doing with your problem. Remember, these are numbers that I just came up with. You can choose your own. Again, you probably want to keep it under 10. Actually, under 5 would be the easiest. Keep it around 0, and it's totally cool to use the exact same numbers as I do. Don't feel bad. Alright, moving on to the next thing. Again, if you have questions, please raise your hand, and I will help you. Now we're going to look at graphing. What do we do with graphing our data? So with that, turn your page, go to page 412, and here is our idea. So the example that they give us on the page is negative 2x, we're going to do it on this side, negative 2x plus y equals 4. First thing that we want to do is we want to get y all by itself. It's just kind of the way that we want to set up our problem. So I'm going to add 2x to each side. So by doing that, it cancels out the negative 2x on that side. So we're just left with y equals 2x plus 4. Alright, since we're dealing with addition, it's just easy to keep the 2x first. That's just the way I like it, and it makes sense to me. So here are a few things to keep out, to notice. What we want to do is, the first thing for our graph is that we want y to equal 0. That's our first step. What that means is that we are trying to find our y-intercept. And then, so that means where does it cross the y-axis? Alright, then we'll find our x-axis, where it crosses the x-axis, and we can then build our graph from there. So if y were to equal 0, that means that it's going to be somewhere on this line. Alright, so we're going to plug in the equation where 0 equals 2x plus 4. Maybe I should have kept it the other way. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. So now I have negative 4 equals 2x. And I divide by 2. So when y equals 0, that means that x will equal negative 2. So actually what I found is when I put the y equal to 0, we found our x-coordinate. So that means we are on this line, our x-coordinate line. My bad. So what that means is that we now have our ordered pair. We now have negative 2, 0. When y were to equal 0, our x equals negative 2. So I'm going to put a dot right there. That's where we're going. Okay, so now we just do the opposite to find out where our y-coordinate is crossing our y-axis. We're going to have x equals 0. So I'm going to start the problem over here. So now we have y equals 2 times 0 plus 4. So now we have y equals 4. So when our x-coordinate, x is at 0, we know that we have 0, comma 4. So I'm going to graph that point. So now that we have our 2 points, we can create our line. So you are going to want your ruler. I can't make a line at the moment. It's kind of out of my view. But you want to use a ruler, and so you're going to create a line that connects these two dots. So go a little bit down, a little bit up. And again, this is a line that goes on. It doesn't end. They do not end at those 2 points. It continues on. So that's our graph we found where our point crosses the x-axis and where it crosses the y-axis. So let's do another example. Here is the example for 3a. We have y equals x minus 4. Okay, so first step, let's have y equals 0. So we have, I'm going to do it on this side, 0 equals x minus 4. If I'm going to add 4 to each side, so that means we have 4 equal to x. So our coordinate would be 4, 0. So I'm going to graph that. Go 4 to the right, and I stay there. Next up, we have y equals 0 minus 4. Y equals negative 4. See, I put in the 0 instead of x. So now my coordinate is 0, negative 4. So I'm going to graph that. I stay right. On the x-axis, it's a 0, and I go down 4. Okay? And then I connect my lines. Remember, please use a ruler. I'm breaking the rules right now just because I have a fancy smartboard. You don't. Alright, that's our line. So a few things to observe, and actually one thing that makes it a little bit easier. When you see a equation like this, the clear giveaway that you can automatically find a point is that if you have a number like this, negative 4, something like y equals x minus 4, that minus 4 all by itself, without an x, that actually means where our line crosses the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at negative 4. That's a clear giveaway. Just like if we were to look back at this equation, here we have y equals 2x plus 4, and you can see when we did the math over here that it does actually cross the y-axis at 4. So that could kind of give you a quick, easy thing, but again, they started out the problem like this. You got to be careful. You have to make sure that your problem, your equation looks like this, like that one, before you just start saying, oh, that's where it crosses the y-axis. But just to reiterate, to say it again, when our problem is something like, let me grab another example. The next one would be y equals 2x plus 4. That's what we just did. Dang. Okay, but again, that plus 4 means that it crosses the y-axis at 4. Okay, video is getting kind of long. I'm going to cut it short here. If you have any questions, raise your hand for help. And work hard. You guys are doing very well. Keep it up. I will see you in real life.